as we are speaking today, in the next budget, we want to see a commitment to the commencement of work on the La General Hospital. It shouldn't be any promise. We want to see it in the next budget. Mr. Speaker, on this note, I am the chairman of the Greater Accra Caucus of the minority. You are on our land, and I'm assuring you, if we don't see it in the budget, we will not make the budget in this house come out. We will make sure that sitting will be disrupted until we see the La General Hospital captured in the budget. We will show you that we are on our land. In fact, this will be another showdown. We will make sure that the Minister of Health and the Minister of Finance will not enjoy the peace in their ministries. We are going to marshal the people of La and Gamachi to occupy your offices if you don't work on the La General Hospital.
By April 19, 2023, 3 years after the demolition, the Presidential Advisor on Health, following a long line of excuses, disclosed that government was now tirelessly working to unveil a roadmap for the construction of the La General Hospital. This chronology of events has only deepened the public mistrust and cynicism within the La Dadekotopon constituency. Our people yearn for a fulfillment of this long-standing promise, and their patience is wearing thin. Therefore, I passionately employ this House to assertively call upon the government to expedite allocation of the necessary resources and get the contractor to site without delay to commence construction of the hospital project. Mr. Speaker, as the elected representative of the good people of La Dadekotopon, I see and hear the frustrations of residents of La, Teshin, and Osu about the delayed promise to deliver an ultra-modern, international, and 21st century hospital. They are tired of being doubting Thomases. They desperately want to believe that government will keep to its promise and give the good people of La Dadekotopon the actual date for the commencement of the La General Hospital project.
I will plead that we bring the Minister of Health here to relate to this matter, because I agree that the hospital ought to be reconstructed, and that the sooner it is done, the better it will be for the people there. Mr. Speaker, my own became necessary to be done because now from Swami to Wa, on that stretch of about 300 kilometers, previously there was no government health facility. Now you meet one at Offenso, which is owned by the Catholic Church, the St. Patrick Hospital. Then you get to Techiman, which is owned by the Catholics again, Holy Family Hospital. Then you proceed to Wenchi. The one there is owned by the Methodist Hospital, Methodist Church, until you get to Bonnie. So health facilities, all of us need to be concerned, and we should urge government to deal with this matter as a matter of urgency. I agree with my colleague who has read a statement expressing concern by the Speaker to inform that something is being done to deal with the problem. But as I said, it will require us to bring the Minister for Health here so that we'll be able to talk to the issues.
Yɛmfa sedama twedi aponyame ene wadom yɛn waboa yɛn ama yɛda so etenkwam tekyerema edabodwem moja eridi afusane ewo yemu wohwɛ mre no sima nwɔtwe abo apano nan ho yatrase ewo inside politics dwumadie eso Enkomo no emu ohwam emu ode ene yatrasi na wonso obenya wo chefa yemobi akwaba we a businessman we obi a we business bia e wo Ghana ha what de esanse asemde pa na asie no. The government of the Republic of Ghana, the new government coming and when I make one semi Owura John Dramani Mahama e de enhihye bi e de ba beguna kwemu a ebeboa ama Ghana edne ntuma papa edi efra na enije sonko na eba beba ama Ghana ni bia eni ade ne ho na mesramu ada ma me fato Ghana fo nyinanim se me beche sika enro anwumre me che sika ena me ba beche 1,000 Ghana cedis each 1,000 Ghana cedis each eti ena day obi amra no mra meje apem baako 1,000 na me ne mu bedi kwaku ananse story kwaku ananse agro ni bi won saka sika no asende bi ma me ena de me yen se sende ma me sende no eti ena won saka me so twabi fagu me phone so ene ye adoye mre ene ye drumu no eti me sere wada me ba be cheska sika bebre ene ne meche ama obia ensa akabie wodi ane se obedale *274# *274# na was selected number 1 power SYZ enra anwumre na nka meche 500 enko but the dru ba bi kofi the boy 7,000 ka ho it 1,000 fo nyina eba mu demum enade eye 1,000 cedis enko na meche nipa be se 4 and now 5 ebetumi anwene 1,000 Ghana but me saka ne biem ka mo say o kira nyame eye adom a on gumbe ye be nipa more than 20 sika so lucky wachina obedidi peche namum asem no na me kan biem am isi so edua no say sika emre na eduru so no fa mobile phone no dial *274# *274# na select number 1 power SYZ when you select number 1 power SYZ e twamo enra make us amanfo twamo no obi ti ba bia na odi agro obaba ko odi no kumase ma me anwumre wotie mi amechiawo obaba ko onwe na bi odi sika ni bi mensaka no odi bi ogumbe so enra anwumre wotwa asen wotwa 100 Ghana eti eye twamo na ubedi what you say twamo na ubedi eno no it is *274# *274# no was selected number 1 power SYZ na wonso ubedi sika ene anwumre ama enije aba etitwa na mekwaba ne maba bebobo bigusu ameko ne nyina no mekoso ne makao said ye be ya wonso no cash no ubenya bi ebe flow na wonso wenya bi ede agiwani enkomo no ye hyase ye wuram ne ye bro said ye be ya Ghana ni bi owo Ghana ha ebetete ne ho enoma ase medamo nyina ase ema mo nyina akwaba ugusu a wutwa men saka no e sika adwuma ene ye no ubedi bi wate ubedi utwa ubedi wunya twade a ene sika no ubedi thank you mekwaba mesaka obiem na yenhye ene yenkomo twetwe no ase. We have a president who is coming. Na Owura John Dramani Mahama eye omampani abedi ekira ana eye omampani abedi ekira wo ba Ghana ha na onya akwanya ebedi mampani na Owura John Dramani Mahama eye omampani abedi ekire esua adwuma no from omampani abedi ekira ono so bedi president yi me say Owura John Dramani Mahama obaya omampani abedi ekira be ma omampani abedi ekira ono so be president Owura Mills obaya omampani abedi ekira ma Owura Rollins and Owura Mills ebedi president no na wabra Owura Mahama baaye no osua adwuma no ehu adwuma no ade adwuma no ade ye adwuma na de se ya no say Owura John Dramani Mahama sign babiem and I am telling you President Mahama is the only president waba bedi mampani pen na oko na wosa babiem tie obia wo ye Ghana ni bia nim say sa woyɛ adwuma bi na wowie na wokɔ akyira ana wo sɛ oh meyɛ mfomsoɔ kakra wɔ ha anka meyɛ ne sɛ yanka boaeɛ metia kakra wɔ ha mefa ne sɛ yanka ɛkɔɔeɛ enti saa nipa korɔ no wonya akwanya no ɔba bie mu a baabi korɔ no ɔde adeɛ no faayɛ a amoa no wɔmfa mfa hɔ biem wɔde fa baabi a wobɛtumi akɔ n'anim na ɛberɛ a yɛduru soɔ no ɛne sɛ owura John Dramani Mahama no a na ɔyɛ mampanin no a na woyi $1 na ɛyɛ 3 cedis 80 pesos no wɔsanya akwanya ɛba biem na owura John Dramani Mahama ɛyɛ saa krataa wei sɛ sanka 2020 muma na kwanya baaya ankɔde saa krataa wei ɛba bɛyɛ adwuma yɛfrɛ no Jobs and Prosperity for All, the People's Manifesto. Na wei any People's Manifesto a so di nkunimu a ankɔde aba bɛbu ɔman no a aka kakra no wawie na ɛno mpo no owura John Dramani Mahama sɛ hunu sɛ dabi onya akwanya san trɛkyerɛ no wahu enuoma bi a na nka wɔsɛ wɔde ka saa manifesto wei ho ɛma abrabɔ no etumi ɛkɔ yie na wɔde ba bɛka ho ɛnura owura John Dramani Mahama asɛ dwumadie bi ase na saa dwumadie no a wɔhyɛ aseɛ no wɔne General Secretary ɛne TUC foɔ nyinaa ɛkɔhyiaeɛ na yɛfrɛ no Building the Ghana We Want Tour. Yɛpɛ sɛ yɛyɛ Ghana no a yɛn nyinaa yɛpɛ no yɛpɛ sɛ yɛsi Ghana no a yɛn nyinaa yɛpɛ no yɛpɛ sɛ yɛsi ɔman Ghana ahyiagu ɔman Ghana abubu Akufo-Addo ɛne ne dɔm asɛe Ghana na kwan bɛn ne yɛbɛfa so a saa Ghana wei ebetumi agyina so akwan yi ɛbɛfa so a Ghana wei ebetumi agyina so no ɛne sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ me ne wo mienu yɛka bom ne yɛde kukuduro ne nam yɔ ɛne yɛden ne akoma pa ɛde pagya Ghana si hɔ na saa dwumadie no ɛna owura John Dramani Mahama ɛne TUC foɔ ɛkɔhyiaeɛ na ɔne TUC foɔ hyiaeɛ no ɛna John Dramani Mahama ka kyerɛ TUC foɔ sɛ TUC adwumayɛfoɔ me John Dramani Mahama mepɛ sɛ sɛ meba bɛyɛ dwumasom bi na meba mede adeɛ bi a yɛfrɛ no 24 hours economy ɛde ba na saa 24 hours economy no ɛbɛboa ma Ghana economy agyina so woyɛ Ghana ni 24 hours economy tie ne yie na ɛbɛboa obi a wɔte dansoman kwan so Sakaman area ho ɛde kɔ baabi a the last spot ɛwɔ no junction ne so hɔ a wonya twa ya wofiri baabi a yɛyɛ chicken feed no wotwa ya do ani kyerɛ dansoman kwan so ahonsa right ɛhɔ a wobɛwu sɛ lady bi ɛtɔn waakye anopa na waakye no a ɔmotɔn no ɔmotɔn waakye no a ma ne bɔ bɛɛ 4 a na ɔmopɔn a na awuraba bi nso aba ne waba bɛtɔn jollof rice wɔ hɔ na ɔno nso bɛtɔn jollof rice no a ma abɔ bɛɛ 12-1 ansa na ɔmapɔn. This is an example of some of the 24 hours economy. Enti every bia bɛkɔ hɔ bia no wobɛnya aduane atɔ adi. Tie nkɔmɔ ne yie. Obi a watena sahudwina sepɛn. There is a company called Suhuma. Na saa Suhuma no ɔmoyɛ sawmill adwuma. Na obi anim sɛ Suhuma Ghana ana Suhuma company ɛyɛ 24 hours job. me wie secondary school no me kwaye kakra na na ye wo mo ba no pa na o ma pon awia be 1 or 2 na ye wo mo a o ma ba beto aso be 2 o'clock na o ma pon 7 o'clock anwumre na bia ba beto aso 7 na o ma pon 11 na bi ma by 11 na o ma pon the next morning and all the time ni nyina no company no eye adwuma workers adults and about sa productivity so ekosoro and this is an example of Adia Owura John Dramani Mahama or say yebeye Sarioso eye kuro me the Sarioso as set example because I want to be free it is Sarioso eye kuro bia wobetumi akwa kodru kuro no so but at time ebebo be say 8 9 upeduane atokra wunya bi nto wobebi say se kodwuna se wobedru dwuna se na bia na aduane ni ho eti fa de say 10 11 12 na kom de wabede no wanya aduane adi e wo se wo de kom ne nketenkete e de dama ade eche but yenim say obi konom nsa wonya hangover nketenkete te no wo but se na aduane wo ho a akoto sori ye koto obi di. These are examples of the 24-hour job, 24-hour economy. And I say, Owura John Dramani Mahama say, restaurant no, se won to me nya adwuma empo the next morning na problem ni ho. Obeya wo de be pon 6. Obi so no be partner. It was so better to 6 upon the next morning. It when you said the probably budget stores. Menoka say, Sawati Kamua. Now we patrol a soto around 11. I won't cry her. What the can be see woman the next morning I better so. Apart from some areas be to say Kuala area ho, and there be a bet me a few lato. And some few places. Now, the Atiani immediately I was shot to petrol. No, I was say, what packet can why? Because filling station for the slow armed robbers. No, say armed robbers will attack them in the night. Until about 10, 11, no more pound. When your petrol to be him. And the 12 body and you know ukra. Madi and Shama Swa Memo Yimadi. Thank you. Owura John Dramani Mahama say, Wa Bebama Sadi and Afriho, make us a bit tremo. Tamanam war radio sono, make us a say. Namine Agbomo J. Eko Eziama. Awelembele. Na yakono, ye free have 12. Men and I drive. No be on me catching so dear. When you say Oheneba Boamah Bennie, enti me move free da come 12 o'clock. About 1 near Cape Coast. You do Cape no. Ana ye kwaya kwasra enkrofo. So you flew no, and the end is okay. You pese yada. Eti ye beda Cape. Na yada na ade tia. Ebo 5 ananka ye move ne ye ko. Yeti hotel sa ewo Cape Coast mu nyinada ye nya ba bia na. We be wura ho ne atum. We be wura ho no be bomb security man be boss yada ni ho so na dan ho yada. Eti Cape Coast as at 1 o'clock 1:32 yenya ba bia na. But ye kodru Eziama 5 o'clock. Ewa kekam 5 o'clock. Na hotel ye adwuma yenya ba bi dai. Because a hobby and border a libo. It will be 24 hours. This is the policy. Let's just say private sector ebebium nipa bebre ebenya dwuma ye. Etiana ufa filling station or pump attendance. Why adwuma about 11 and no akwa kopen baby ada. Ade atia humate be 5 for sorry. So baby bu. The rest of the period na won fifi winning in anasiegu. It is so bin so na ye adwuma taxi driver trotro na ye adwuma One also sad time no so no short to petrol was so packet into Sabre want to mean Yajuma baby. But the John Dramani Mama says Sadia no be free. You be 24 hours economy. And no Red Jonathan Asantiotre, Dr. Jonathan Asantiotre. As so the better also say, and you're one of the best way, Yabema economy apeja. Nemom street lights, Yanyan department. Na Yanyan problem manage street light. Because a street light is Sibabia, ne krum eye shrenya, am rubber ebe bakrono osro. Because Kanian inti yebe hunanim. Na yama security system so aye tough ewo krom ha. And say you say yama security aye den automatically yebe fa prosi fo bebre. Oso benya chance ako prosi. Oso benya chance aye soja ni. Listen to what is going on. Good policies. Afei mem tremo another example. Woko da Akumai circle station wa. Wobi a watena within da Akumai any ni areas bia no. Omunim say traffic light na se wo no ano. Woman to say the woko official town no. Traffic light na se no. There is encrophobia omo ye fried rice bi e wo ho. Make us say omo guso omo ye. Eba na do 2 o'clock duro obenya bi aton. Omo opposite. Abrante na utwitwa na ntwie ni lane so no from coastal no. Woman be so ton drinks and people ni maami bi or ton drinks ne those kinds of normal chikosia bread ne nasefo and also 2 o'clock udru ha ubenya bi na bi sama me say daytime at this time obekwa kura no nya adwuma because when nya adwuma na dwo more than the daytime. That is policy. Kura yetimi ope baby akọ club. At this time ye more club area. And also ba ebema dwumadi nyina akoso. Slay queens mebu. Because adia ba ko wo mu ne say ene Ghana hyewo apaja. Yeah, apaja. Ne mom ntumi nya dwuma daytime. It is a say no ahyewo business yi okola pass ya. Oh yes, wo kan wa kan nyina ahyewo fo so no ebebustu. On be 24/7. I say obe paja 24/7 because you are more daytime, you are more mabo night. Because they say, "Oko to do here railway ho, railway police station, rail lines na so. Oko anim kakra fie bi ehye na ho no. Amomu ya adwuma 24/7. Etina bi abakona gas gu fie ho. What you say? Oko police station na ti ho wo. Ewo baby a Canadian Japan the radio we Medina o my from eti ho nyina e dey fat down ho na ekọ no omo ya dwuma 24/7 wo ko police station eti ho ewo asamanya omo ya dwuma 24/7 what you say me ko okoye news omo ya dwuma 24/7 eti aban sanu a ebema ahyewa dwuma so apaja because more money ebeba system ni mu and anytime a member benya sika bia no ema fili. I am telling you bema sika wo ba fili so the economy ebepaja ana me katro he Ghana ahyewo ebra bi atwa mu me no di sankomo wetie ne ye wonim say Ghana ahyewo ye dama eduru ba bi no na Nigeria Cameroons attract foreign customers. Etuba usuha Omanaja Nigeria for Diaboso Cameroon for wom Burkina Faso Benin Emma customers dodo attract foreign investors. Ghana shawokra attract foreign investors and so no be akon krom because okodira ha obi amedi di aduana yeka enti no ura John Dramani Mahama say the 24 hours economy is going to boost the private sector and the government sector because productivity ebe kosro. That is it. It is out here bi no. Restaurants ebe ye adwuma. Abanya adwuma nipa no ko 8 hours. Wa power okọ. Adwuma ma ye ba ye eye shift. Be poso him aba no pa. Eba be se 2 and wopon ye okọ. Oheneba Boamah ba. Eba be say 10 o'clock a mepon. Obi so be beto so from that time no. Upon the me pon ya na Apostle Jackson so ba. One so be pon the next morning. Eti aya shift sana juma na tie. So the 24 hours economy no ebeboa security ebebifu Ghana ha be yede. Eno anu ani to use focus yaye. One say me go so me na okasa kura no. The yen recognize me to sash e wo kura no. Betumi atere wa mo hu say e ho so be de. Wo yi anu free mu a. Oh, let me tell you something. Mama nka say me ntire we de e ya sese bia me de twam. Wonim say sika ba mamu bebra e ma kronfo kura no. Wo mu kura no adwuma ye de. Mama nka say me ntire. Time Kumase atotobotomfo no mo ho no. Koko ne ba sa no a. No be tin koko no be Kumase so be fa no ma no anhwe ne boto yi a. Wo be so atotobotom ni nso anya bi. Ono so sada no ne mfiefo o wadidi. Batene. Hwan boto. E na akotum no. Na de mu okokura boto no mutare. Kaprenim. Wo betwa kura na ye kwan senso asom. Sabra no na mfam kura tumi nya sikafa ene kura bi ni ho. When was the last time I first came from? The system is going to rise again. What you say? Etiama bone medoso. Because sa asem ya wura Jonathan Asanteatwi waka ye say street light en kwano se ya de ma obi ye ni department a ebeboa Ghana ha ye hwe billboard da ye sisi ni wokrom. Wonyonko si ni de awia na krom nyina kata. Osini de yesiwa na krom nyina kata. But ombetomi ya in a digital one with the street light. You omo yes digital one no with the street light no. So wasa wo de ada so 1 minute ya wo ska betua. Eti 1 minute aye wie pe na ekọ na obi nso de aba ebe rotate sa. Eti all the time ni nyina no there will be money in the system. 24 hours economy. As form, latest form, MTN. When we are doing about 6, offer money at Mama machine. You better me up Bonuma Guasum sa 10 minutes. Now that's what you're born. But during that time, no, the 24-hour system, no, Omo Baya Juma Sabreno. And now pay mobile money. Aye, now about 7. Obakono be a ponko. You see, Kaya cat, no trend the next morning. But the oil mobile money or take one hono or bambo. There will be a serious protection. It will not one warrior Jumano. Obey Juma, Emma do 2 o'clock crano. So be crum salba be pesca. Upenya BAG. Hello? The system is going up again. Owura John Dramani Mahama. And only 2 years for Edin Komono. Yura, fire co, mientio. Yet here a Owura John Dramani Mahama edit 2 Janamesemo and fast.
Implement, amongst others, the following measures. 1, as I said, place an immediate moratorium on all non-concessional borrowing. 2, pursue our bilateral partners and multilateral partners for more concessional financing and grants. 3, implement infrastructural projects that are self-financing and not a burden on the public debt. 4, limit the central bank's financing of government, as we did in 2016. 0 central bank financing of government. And also reform the Bank of Ghana. 5, tighten legislation to put a cap on debt accumulation and prevent any future reckless finance minister from borrowing, as has been witnessed under this administration. So you put a cap so that some rogue finance minister won't come in future and run up the debt again. And so if we say the debt must be 60% of GDP, at each, every year you must calculate and make sure that you are under 60% of GDP. If the finance minister exceeds it, he will be sanctioned. Sanctioned, sacked. I meant sacked. Re-establish the sinking fund To smoothen out our debt repayment obligations, when we were in government, we set up a sinking fund to which we committed some of our oil revenues and other revenues so that any debts that were due, we had money to pay. Unfortunately, when this government came, they depleted the sinking fund and left it empty with no buffers to cover themselves. We will stop the collateralization of statutory funds like the GET Fund and the District Assembly's Common Fund. We will review some legislations to limit the financial implications of non-core activities of some state-owned enterprises like the Ghana Cocoa Board and the GMPC. Additionally, we aim to reduce the size and cost of government, tackle corruption, and enforce stricter financial management regulations and guidelines. To this effect, we will reduce the number of ministers and appointees. We will merge ministerial portfolios to prune down the number of ministries drastically. For instance, I don't see why we have aviation ministry, railways ministry, transport ministry, and all the other ministries.
Very good. So, no. Obebua, because some of enuomani bi oha ye kreti emwa adentina was a ministry baako ofa sa Ministry of Transport. Wabro John Dramani Mahama Baye no. Only Ministry of Transport alone, transport. And a sea airport. Wamu ye eye Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3. Wamu see a brand new airport. Ewo Volta region. Wamu see eye phase 2. Eye an international airport ewo Temele. We started the phase 1 and the phase 2 project. Ewo Kumasi. We under the same transport no. Oko eye Temaporta. We eye juma ewo. Omu ye railways, Takra di Kojo Krom and other areas. Estate eye Tema Tumpakadan. Eko somebody estate ye. Under the same office. And a yes, said Jumanina. When we are Quanya who do a work room ha. On your Kuba, a pen or some mediamentiasia, Mamin Titim, and we railway could see half. And we aviation could see half. And we transport. Railway, I say, ya can't say railway minister Jogate and Conquayano. Ensure to ye who road that the to say. Etintehu no tenase na access the system Boamah Ghana koso because all these ministries ni nyina no anya de bia eye because when the economy is good bibia paja I don't know me can say I say Kumase atutubato mfo ya na mwatama na kuko sika wosi obi adwebe ne say ene yesa ohene be encourage say ebi owura John Dramani Mahama ba oba be encourage say am Robin because no that is not it. Yes sir. Nebu when the system is booming obi sika frito kra won hwehwe sa system ne ya obi chawade kra won nwene ho wo Boamah economy ni gina ye emrantia dodo a eba kro no enam kroma no majority of them na bi mu ye adwuma but eduru ba bia ye duru ye no system na nye no enene omde akwakoduru ba bia omakwakoduru so owura John Dramani Mahama beba the system no ebe ye TUC penia wada no the general secretary of TUC yawba wabla wo pia ya no a nsentwerefo ni di nkomo no and what they to sentwerefo nim say it is time was your bomb paye and Ghana economy because they say Ghana no yet the time bomb so economy nyadepa no man nyina giegu eti yanya ne de yaba wakasa
in a state that all Ghanaians wherever you are you should have Ghana in mind whatever you are doing. If you are at your workplace, think about Ghana. And whatever you do, do it in the interest of Ghana. If you are in a church and you are praying, pray for Ghana.
Why should we do that now?
Because we are in a very serious situation. As I said, we are standing at the edge of a cliff. And so any wrong move can land us down. Let us all work together to get Ghana out of the danger. And I'm sure we all benefit from that. Are you not
seeing the government doing that, taking out all of us out from this?
Not only government, I'm saying every Ghanaian. I mean, we created the government. Yeah, we can play our part, so everybody should play their part. Government must also play its parts. Government must also play its part. Every Ghanaian should play their part. As I said, if you are at the workplace, think about Ghana. If you are in church, pray for Ghana. Because where we are, we need a lot of prayers. We are a trade union. You should understand that. So our main focus has to do with work-related issues. That's what we do. The Trade Union Congress was set up for workers. So we usually focus on workers' issues. But we realize that if the nation doesn't do well, workers will not do well. So we are shifting our focus not only on workers, but also on national issues. That is why the manifesto has been prepared. The manifesto is a public declaration of our positions on almost everything in this country. That's why it's very comprehensive. And that's why we are talking about things that you hardly will hear TUC talking about. Because it's a manifesto. We are talking about the economy. We are talking about human development. We are talking about investment policy. We are talking about labor market issues, of course. And we are talking about governance. Usually you will not hear TUC talking about constitutions and so on. But because this is a manifesto, we are also talking about things that affect the country, including the need for the change of the constitution of this country.
Very good. Where are you, Urayaba? That's the Secretary General for TUC. But Mamin Chimwadjini insi adia kakrebiso. Before Samekono, before Samechuadjini Sisono, *274 hash. Wunyencha yecha. *274 ne kana brebe wuram sika beba bebe 1,000 Ghana 1,000 Ghana 1,000 Ghana 1,000 Ghana bebre. So *274 select number 1 power SYZ sika be flow sika bebu iti brabetwa na jisika fadidi jiska business jiska to school fees ahokyere wo man ni mu dodo mesi se woni kapre wo botomu a e na kasa meka wo beti ase woni mo bi afre no na ka chen so sound 20 Ghana na wo de beba no woni mo bi afre na ka chen so ma 10 cities wo ma 50 cities wo ma 100 Ghana na wo ye sure say wo bedi na wo de ama no wonya 100 ni nyina fa ni nyina twa na wo bedi menye wadwe se wo twa no wagya bi 1,000 Ghana e na me ba beche it will be a mongram and na me pe more nipa bebre because mecha more to be a mongram and a day now so be fadidi. Look, Dr. Ishmael Jansen, why you economist as a businessman. Now, Dr. Ishmael Jansen echo interview, I will join news. And omukodin commode for planting for food and jobs. Ghana ne bi owa Ghana ha me yes simple analysis ene am what you say. Me ene wa o hwemi. Na yedo afuo 1 acre 1 acre. Na yedo a yedi ka dua mankani ne yedua bode ne yedua banche ene aburu. Na de yebedua no at the end of the year no eya na eso yede but yenya bi nton. Ana edru the second year and ye yade say okay yenua ebia 2 and 3 acres near hade automatically no si edua 2 acres or 3 acres edua ne bebu because yen dia 1 acre no ye de hwe ye ho no si ayi 1 acre ne si ho a ebeka 2 acres eno no yedua ka ho a yemfa nya hwe enti automatically no ye benya bia kodwam akwa koton ama aduane aba ana meboa okay woman pani yakufuado ekofa opani bia ye frɛ no afiri ye kuto ya na nsa ye MPP fo abayi omokoto ye wono so yi ni ti se ope president ye die na owusu free ya koto sa koto free ye koto free ye owusu no aba kete Ghana fo nyina se ne nanado se wo mo ye planting for food and jobs sir ebema aduane abu. So they invested $6 million more into the project. As I am speaking with you, planting for food and jobs will be a omai ya donfuo ya yenuoma ene na sefo no. Mama ye misa say planting for food and jobs no. Edi aba ena eso ye ede ma yen. Semenya 2017 budget no a wo starte eye planting for food and jobs no a na menemo adi nkomo e de afa ho na they said something our 2017 budget planting for food and jobs tia me wo page 68 of 2017 budget, the first budget ya NPP can foriata ebe readie me wo page 68 paragraph 347 was it in 2016 20 metric tons of maize tie 2016 why na no power eye owura John Dramani Mahama one and no power e to owura John Dramani Mahama wo power no ana omo kire se wa bro owura John Dramani Mahama wo ho no wo ye nuoma bi na do ye no ane ye kan. It was in 2016 20 metric tons of maize foundation seed, 3,500 metric tons of satisfied seed of rice, sorghum, cowpea, soybean, granite, and citrus foundation seeds were produced and distributed to farmers. In addition, 50,000 mini tubers of yam, 3,000 sackers of plantain, 300,000 cutters of cassava, and 3,000 seedlings of citrus were produced and distributed to farmers. Was it 2016 no? Enuoma wabuba so nyina no. Owura John Dramani Mahama etema akuafo were produced and distributed to farmers. At 2016 come and 2017 come and tese enedie. Yan ready the next paragraph no, paragraph 348. Netie planting for food and jobs no best at. Was say to further promote seed and planting materials development, expected production target of satisfied seed will include projected will include 2,250 metric tons of maize seed, 600 metric tons of rice, 100 metric tons of sorghum from a total target area of 1,800 hectares of land. A total of 390 metric tons of satisfied legume seeds, including cowpea, cowpea, soybean, and granite, will also be produced and distributed to farmers. Furthermore, a total of 1.2 million of cassava cutters and 50,000 yam mini set, 3,000 plantain suckers, and 3,000 seedlings of citrus seeds will be produced and distributed to farmers. The ministry will import improved seeds to augment any shortfall for the planting for food and job campaign. It will say, Owura John Dramani Mahama, ete banchinuya, ete bodie, ete cowpea, ete sorghum, ete bayire, ete nuoma bebre edima kuafo mamuduyaye. Na emeduane buye. Etu omo bano, wamo pejasa process nimo. Na wamo tunidin planting for food and jobs. That's the reason why I'm a catcher. I'm say planting for food and job. Aya John Mahama project a kufwa the 2 din fire. Yaya planting for food and jobs. Afei yenye aduane ni. Ana na aduane no yeton wo hen. Ana yenua. Because in the planting for food and jobs on Kwano, fertilizer wealth of $12.5 million. Ayraye. Besi na yehuni po fire. Mama yemisa. Woman Penia Kufuado say. The planting for food and jobs no. Yenua na ni aduane ne wo hen. Because aduane boyeding. Menemo ka say. Food inflation is the highest in other inflation. Aduane inflation. I was rich inflation biya. And tiade no biya aduane bebre. Here was aduane buo no. Aduane buo de ya na ye. So where is the planting for food and jobs? Where is the planting for food and jobs? And was one launching the second phase. Because the first phase in a free year and what has occur. It was launching the second phase. So we said and no, and the doctor Ishmael Yankson at say at the Achregana for Yenti doctor.
We went through how many years of planting for food and jobs. We didn't get the food, we didn't get the jobs, but the money was spent. So the growth, where the growth should come for me, agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, because it employs large numbers of people. If you go to the factories in this country right now, I can bet you 9 out of 10 are shedding numbers. So those figures that we are quoting, we must always ask, what will they mean to us, to our people? Because if poverty levels are rising, then we have a problem. So we are not focusing on those areas where jobs can be created. In the service industry, where the growth, I'm sure, is coming from, look at the banks. Look at the numbers of people that the banks were employing 5-10 years ago. And look at what they need today. Now, you go to a digital bank. Sometimes there's nobody there. There's just a computer there. You go and sit there. You can do everything you want. 10 years ago, you needed 20 people sitting in that branch to do that same job. So we need to understand where jobs are being created today.
Where would you say?
In manufacturing, in agriculture, in tourism, even in technology. For the young people, because they are in everywhere.
You mentioned, one of the areas you mentioned is agriculture.
Yes.
And you rightly mentioned this government had a policy, a flagship policy called Plan for Food and Jobs, and they put billions of cedis into it.
Yes.
Your verdict is that you haven't seen the investment hasn't produced the outcome that we expected.
Not at all.
What reasons would you ascribe to that?
Well, I wasn't involved in the policy execution, but at least I can see the results out of that. And let me give you a very simple example. I used to buy a bunch of plantain for 25 cedis. Today, the same batch I'm buying for 120. And we are in the food harvest season right now as we sit here. So if today I'm paying 3 times for the same batch of plantain that I used to pay 25 cedis for, then my question is, what has happened to agriculture? Don't go very far. Right? Don't go very far. Coconut. We used to buy coconut in Accra for what? 50 pesos. And we're complaining. Today is 5 cedis. I understand that a chunk of the cost is coming from transportation. But even so, should we go from 50 pesos to 5 cedis?
Very good. It's Dr. Ishmael Yankson and watch him. Assembly are very simple. Body drew no 25 cedis. Wabrano no money planting for food and jobs no. Ya nam rantia do do anya akuadwuma. Ye nua nuoma bebre no. Ya ne nua body bebre no. Sabre no. Na wuyi 25 Ghana cedis a wunya body duro. Ebia apem kese pa. Yes, ebia 40 Ghana 35 cedis. Enso ene sa body duro kro no ano. Wato sa body duro kro no ano 120 cedis. It's planting for food and jobs na ewa hefa. and ye na was so be you one say sika no ye di wura mu no sika no wan because ye de sika wura mu na ye de adua nuane anenkrante ana wansane kosunsum guye ana osono de obi anim no otiatia aduane no so wase no ana ewen because se ya me no kasai ebre ye wo mu ye bod ebre ye twa bode ebra ye wo mu aye bayire bode ane banche mankani emrani enkra ha mankani mpode ye ni mankani ha ban keke ya tetere 5 cities 10 cities mankani ha ban ye frin kontomre 5 cities 10 cities etimoma ye misase aban ne nsam no kan bebrebe no akosi san ewo planting for food and jobs so no impact no why aban meka bibi nkyere yen Dr. Boamah beka kyere yen planting for food and jobs baby ewo ana wo de digital anti wonim de akoso okuya dwumam ana one for digital kwa agric nti no wonim baby aduane no koye fellow Ghanaians, shine your eye na aban na san baby am say obeye mu bukata. Let me tell you something, Dr. Tony Edu. I question the credibility of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So person odigan in him. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia can just a very simple asem etre Ghana for say. You cannot manage the economy with propaganda. Tienye. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say, you cannot manage the economy with propaganda. And I say, simple logic. And I say, woman me akwa afuom wo mai wo se waba when I come the we simple logic and no Ghana si kasam nye NDC aban se eye Ghana si kasam ahwiase NDC aban se si kasam ne gina yie anu na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say you cannot manage the economy with propaganda. What we are no and what Sudia say, you can engage in all the propaganda you want, but when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Sabreno, no will you 1 CDR, no yet will you $1, no yet 3 cedis, 80 pesos. Tama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia can say, you can engage in all the propaganda you want, but when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. No, now we $1, now 3 cedis, 80 pesos. Ebedru Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so say economy na diagu na betre mu a wo say what can say sa ufrosuru a na wote hwe a wo namba ya we ya obaya apache na sa okona okokoto se obi ti wo na we ya apache a wontumi nkwaka se sa nipa no ofiri soro en wate ahwe mo bravo momo nsema Bawumia sa o can say sa ufrosuru a na wote hwe a wo namba ya we ya enti sa okona okokoto se wo bi anan ya ne ya wontumi nkonkoka se nipa no ofrosoro en wate hwe ye ene de na Bawumia person kire no say when the fundamentals are weak the exchange rate will expose you. Na mum sadru no so na the exchange rate de no ekọ high de a enye fundamentals na we weak na mum e de Russia Ukraine and the COVID muntie asema Dr. Tony Edu ebisa.
Bawumia in particular, his hurdle is the crisis of credibility. Who wants to vote for a person who has proven himself to be a liar, a flip-flopper, a man who is not disciplined, a man who calls his political opponents all kinds of derogatory names? The word incompetence, we stuck with President John Mahama, was coined by Bawumia. And over the period, he had made sure that on every platform, he make innuendos towards the competence or incompetence of former President John Mahama. And he does it with the most annoying guffaw. You know what the word guffaw means? a belly laugh. It's amazing. But this is a man who has managed Akufo-Addo's economic management team since 2017. And is full of ideational contradictions. One day he says, when the fundamentals are wrong, the exchange rate will expose you. The next day he says, when the exchange rate is fluctuating, it does not mean the fundamentals are wrong. Hey, like the hare said to Alice in the Wonderland, say what you mean and mean what you say. But this flip-flopper, self-styled or acclaimed to be an economic whiz kid of the MPP, is so inconsistent. I recall not too long ago when the issue of Ghana's national indebtedness came to the forefront of discussion. Dr. Boamah said, even though we have borrowed in nominal terms more than the NDC, we have managed the debt portfolio better because we have borrowed at lesser rate. Percentages. What has percentages got to do with your debt sustainability calculations? When your debt sustainability is calculated, it's not the percentage at which you borrow that is important. It's the quantum sum of debt incumbent upon you. When you go to service your loans, the rate at which you have to service is not calculated on the basis of the percentages at which you have borrowed, but on the quantum sum. So where does percentages come in? That's why I said he is your ideal flip-flopper. He lacks credibility.
Okay, so Dr. Tony Edu ena yatanenka no na asem no eye clear and wawe ni ato ho no Boamah mete hayi mete asa me propagate enuoma pa owura John Dramani Mahama beyeye ene ne wo beye manka Boamah asem akwala akoro wode nasiri nim se the biggest liar in Ghana eye Boamah obi anim then as if we no it me mechanism and Dr. Tony Edu akano. But let me tell you this. Minsa no me da so me baba temu sika ene no bi abedidi peche *274# select number 1 power SYZ kitwa bi ensa bowuram na bia obedi enra I December ko esi ye no say woman no wo Kumase no otwa 100 Ghana ana sister baako so twa 20 cedis na eguso na ye rane no de otwa 20 na edikadi first asa na 100 ne bebam and I'm say ni game we so ano ohye it is a selected the power baako aka 100 aboka but all the same no sanity it wo keto a obetumi awuram wo kese a fawuram de mo meme de meka say the higher you stake the higher of chances becoming say obetumi awene. It is *274#. *274#. Now select number 1. Power SYZ. Power SYZ. Now select. Now select now bo remwa. Ube dibi sesia. *274#. Select number 1. Power SYZ. Power SYZ. Power SYZ. Now unyanya power SYZ ni bo remu ria. Sikandi akane de ebotwo ene ye beche de agu so. Eti bomoden na bra beka ho. Na begisika na fatua o school fees. Me se ho nkyere wo a utwa wani a 10 Ghana wonya bia se system no nte ase. Na una wani da sika bi so ema. Na utwa wani a 10 cedis 10 Ghana na bi nkura wo. Ehona hu say yes. Se no kwasam ye kasa Ghana yeden a se nya group ni yedi. It is star 274 hash. Select number 1. Power SYZ. Power SYZ. O select number 1 power SYZ pe. Sika no beba ama wedi. Meni alaji sorogo na ehia ne. Ye be hye enkomo twetwe na se. Na ye be hye enkomo twetwe na se no. Mekwa aba. Mu amatwa no. Meni alaji sorogo be wie. Ye be ko. Eti ye de chapter 1 de sia. Ne maba be temu sika 3 adu atoaso. Na ye be wie a ne mate 1 ade ye wie. Eti wo a wunya ntwa ye ne twa na beka ho. Star 274 hash. Select number 1 power SYZ. Power SYZ. Power SYZ. Now so bra beka sika abusua no ho. Mensaka. Na beji sika. 1,000 cedis each. Ade enemu pes Ghana. Ade 1,000 Ghana no me shifting fanko battleground enyumre. Because as a man for person betwa na yi. Ane mami mintwamu e mami kasa na matwamu e na me nche. 1,000 cedis. Mencha kra bete be 4,000 5,000 Ghana. It would ye na say obebo awuram. Na so obetwa bi. Obi di a won so bedi bi. Mu amotwa no amu ni da no. Ene no me wo mo ba. Ene me wo mo so. Utwa ubedi. Star 274 hash. Star 274 hash. Now select number 1. Power SYZ. Power SYZ. Power SYZ. Na shadow do obi a obetumi. Na beka ho. Na obedi. Amaniji aba. Alaji akwaba.
Yeah, I say.
Boko na wonso e.
Na dawo ma ye ho ye.
Okay.
Na me ba me ti say oguso a ogbo mu den.
Yeah.
Na me say nya butro na wa hwe na odi ba o me achi a. Osa ahwe ya. Na akofo ado ono oba ye no so wa maso ono oba be pa de pa magana for. And you know obi anim se ba o me ade ono odwamfunu. Oye dwamfunu ntino enya ade a ehose ha ho too much.
Okay. Any na meba. Mame na me homra.
O da o ba be cheska na.
O da bi me.
Na se o mo boa ya.
So mo boa no.
O se e ton mo ni ama.
Na me o se me di kan introduce once. No hu se
introduction ya kan film ya kan say.
Say
me you chiransa.
Me you watch. Ana obi ya ehu. Eti mayi alaji suru gwa kire. Former MP.
Ba ma hu me hu.
Wono ne what so na
ma hu me hu. Na happen ma hu.
Na wo so ma hu. Wo so
na sa mi hu me.
Wo kwa kura wa da so sa.
O sa.
Eti alaji suru gwa ni ya na hia no. Yetwa wo ba esia na ba betrase de edi nkomo twen. Ye ba esia.
Then let's take him to Heartbeat Homeopathic Clinic.
Yes, Heartbeat Homeopathic Clinic.
And I was there.
I'm saying Nakuma.
I don't want to go Heartbeat Homeopathic Clinic. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Daddy, to say.
Yeah. Me want Tommy Heartbeat Homeopathic Clinic. Oh, me a good Heartbeat no. ABT.
The serene environment fits into the goal of the school, which is simply to provide excellent educational foundation for your ward's development before they commence primary education. At first glance, clearly you will see why the school is called Hebron Hills International School, as the building stands tall overlooking town. With a Montessori style, we have experienced and dedicated staff and trained teachers. Our small sizes classrooms are meant to enhance teacher-focused approach where children get one-on-one attention from the teacher. Hello there. We are open at 7:30 a.m. and school closes at 2:30 p.m. After school care is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. while early drop-off can be arranged at 6 a.m. Hebron Hills International School is located at Midye off the Nsawam Road. Locate us with GP postcode GW0688 Ga West and GPS code 06884870. You can contact the school and make further inquiries on 050-876-2375 or call the office directly on 0302-918768. Email us at hebronhills.school@gmail.com. Hebron Hills International School. Excel and shine.
Kofi guys, Edik, Ewa, Sombo.
Osodi, na nipa brave inside na mundress na enkono na abochoko ko wankwane ya.
Oh, you home family back okra. Ma hospital kra ma e ka chem say malaria. Malaria nurse man no.
Osodi, e kai edu heba clinic. Malaria wo beto na ta. Wo de dru bia ba wo fan Edek Malakio mixture. Mamumbo bi na no.
Malaria better. Fever better.
Edek Malakio mixture. Genome na omoboto.
Edek Malakio anu odin etumi malaria papa. Edek Malakio betimi fever no ho. Eti de yi hame.
Edek Malakio mixture.
Ebema wonu mu atoso.
Edek Malakio mixture. Eye papa.
Enti hwe omoja mu nsa wo atridi ansa na wa fa atridi.
Apemfo abata wo mo manufo ne kwada wo ne fiedi mienu nka ho. Edek enkwa FDA ahwehwe sa edwadie krato yi mu agya to mu se eye.
Malaria better.
Upon your arrival, you are introduced to your butler, who plans your itinerary. So many activities, all in the same premises. Visit the gym or the stables, they have it all. At my break, I'm able to practice my potting. They used only electric vehicles here. This creates a serene environment. I'm told it's over 1,000 acres. My cabin here sits on 2 acres with a large terrace space overlooking my private swimming pool. Now this is royalty. They have their own farms, thousands of fruit trees. I can also have my lunch here at the waterfall. Quite a beautiful place you have yourself.
XYZ Broadcasting Company Limited. Afiso Yazatum Neizocheneda. Wisdom Summit 2023. Yebesyanyansa. This year, Wisdom Summit Timino. Yefefi Isaiah chapter 33 verse 6. The fear of the Lord will be your treasure. 2023 Wisdom Summit Eyashon Kokra. What to suffer him zifo. Our Bajumas Yasin will be impacted wisdom. Papa Zamahen. Ibiye, Nyansa wa warimu, Nyansa wa apomidinimu, Nyansa wa banbomu, Nyansa wa mpenachum. Saturday, 25th of November, 2023. Venue ni Osu Presby Hall. So when you are Jumezi with a babasa, Mode Yaide, ever send attend ATTEND Ezako MTN Nombeido 0248 712812. And Sunday are not tap Nyansan. Say our business and our product. Nepede Bebo showcase what Jumezi Asa. Mertre Epede sponsor. Fred 0533 825 870. Nyansa Chassis Onarayina Misro. Wisdom Summit 2023 is powered by Power 97.9 FM and TVXYZ. Wisdom Summit 2023. Yerbo, na yebo sianyansa. Nyamishra.
yasatra say allergy srogo emre yake ne dia ene yede babedi nkomo but medical ka star 274 hash select number 1 power SYZ bowram sika no ho me ba na ma ba beche allergy akwa babi
minia ya Matias me ba me ra ho ba to wende
oh
Matias me ba me ra ho because ntiase ne na dey ma we no ya I just say nyame mpa ebo a se okasa o de Ghana to akoma so na wakon ama Ghana na sabi bi obi ntiase na American president kura na Trump atemdidie be ne andi no Biden say ya Palestinians for ekwen atemdidie almost say me say na the MPs no congressmen and representatives a dinner tem Democrats 2/3 of Democrats almost support dinner tem pa so a war criminal nyina makaka mo but obi entity obi nka say na say me stations are me ko toribi ana ya frame me host to say we say Alhaji Sorogo wo call ye no ya frame me say saa time mpo na ba o me ameye ayi flag bearer mpo ya say na masa hey me ewo de de ba ko pe one day ope obeko ya ntino say we so na me ba be fa akwa me fa nko but me build me kan okure no central na media na be ha me ba say no kure nko ade amenia ha me ko Ghana for dodo no a ape no kure mpani for dodo no ape no kure wo mo di ntro ne wo mo sabi wo mo nyim se kina ho na wo mafu nko na wo hwe na yenya ye wo ma adwene na nkanso afo nyina ho so ochenechi no ne ye pa Ghana yie no Bahamis ye bekasa
thank you
to any wo de emfa bibia nche urade nsem na urade de sebe ontuaka onne kanso otuaka da
me da say allergy ya me shirawo enne Yera John Dramani Mahama building Ghana you want together no was started to na wone TUC ehia enkomo no watembi na yeni nkomo
matimu bi se John Dramani Mahama ne dika no mame
ba se okra no yeyi ba omi awoma ha
dabi first
and ye started from when na bright
yeyi ba omi ano me ma ha ti nanka mfisa no nanka de ba ma
wait fast start
ho na so say me ma ba be kana sama say the only thing e betimi a purify ni say obeko okaya onko chief imam ho na onko Sheikh Omar no ho na mpanimfo no sex ni nyina wo mom de animu no onko penwan na ye trans mfa Quran ne mpanya me cho centro no kodi a okoso with Quran na kodi intro during the 2012-2013 presidential petition no court ekoka say me and you were not there ye be say well so onim meanwhile the Quran swear say obeka no kure and am ka chen say Quran no na edi nachi enti no masa every CSUC why anyone say Google consistently 1 year 2 years 3 years Google say see obeka ne say why na ye wo bia say bi o did draw ewo Ghana hanyinara any West Africa nyina adenti na wo say ye nkasa ba omiempo say the vice president of Ghana Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and what reasons yes what ka akwa reason ni bibre na Google hey enti Bawumia de ye nyina ye nim right from the word go me can ofri me me so me constituency metime aka say hono fire and radio Ken City ni e ka ho the station wa ono so enewa be famous aba say president na ba former be chipu say ono so sorry after so did nkrofo atem edidi agbefo atem edidi nkrofo atem si enya wo mafunu ayemfa mro wo nkum wo na wohia import license na wo de akra wo mafunu wohia import license na de aye we agbefo say we say ono a de the party ka ho so ka ya describe akofo ado say we dua we si wa pro ni nyina pro ye ntwa no nko shija o ka se ba corruption akofo ado a faili se ba galamsi a wa faili akofo ado o ka se oba ni showdown akofo ado twen ubehu meye showdown ofiri wo obedi the whole MPP for them say a stupid party when him ntia wo sa party nim e bia na we free say stupid was nyansa omuni be stupid people I don't know why I belong to this party. Okay, can say be brave. I would say be ba mu niama be brave. Ene ono so sorry. so per president edi ne nyina nim say right from the word go no animu ha beba beye 1 year ni down no odi Nana Akufo-Addo mo ntam no enya papa so first no I can tell you say enka Kennedy uncontested because no nim say Bawumia a establishment candidate Akufo-Addo candidate Kenoforiata candidate Gabi Ochidako candidate Bedi Atio candidate MPs Ndodoa candidate ministers Ndodoa candidate from the chairman of the MPP to the secretary to one candidate and woman says the candidate chrono no boye because over 1 million ayirawo Bola minister wa na vice president there Bola minister so yanti so obi aboni dinda baba si there sa okaya dubu ahin semu ani dimbai president nso there techi wan enyantechi o se unya family o mana wawie no obeda ne oba ma osisi a enti wamu anahye omotuam yenim ne akofa baaye apart from say corruption side no nya ade no zipo nso a eno nso buei ye nyina anim ya se oje to ono ode akoto futuom ne ade ayampo ntujuma oni de ye nyina akai okoje to eno oye de okoyi free to num no odi ko ye to nwa adwuma ye nyina ya we emma mami ba ye be kan ya ni nyinara nti Akufo-Addo eno no nko a kanda pa nso ukaya description of mami di manu da wechi peja onai ma wonsa so agurade nyame kakase ministers Ghana ministers Akufo-Addo ministers oyi bibreba yakoka cha ni say woyi bibreba Ghana eboka was it be twen adwuma na me baye no eso amina hari anti was amina hari me pantem ansa ne bewie no mo beka se nka me hukura nka me di ministers bi kan ho minister baako was mra wo be take decision no na adwene no afiri ho mia madam kumimia
kwakwaji mama
aji mama nu was me pacho emra bi no mo kan na nyansa ni no adwene na yira ko we oda so ti wo minister wo ma mu kase hey min nya biom kura no merezan kura no na Akufo-Addo so mpene masa first and foremost you find out to say who is Bawumia parents ahin no mo wo ansa no mo ba be wu no party ben afuto be no mo de to Bawumia e ka che Bawumia se Bawumia baby o wonu aboa wo pe baby papa kwa bra ba na Bawumia nim ne oye se wo kan ajapade a nobody should tell you what Akufo-Addo is doing because Eshem kofa ajapade se siabra o meja no meka Eshem bari se asantefuo no e peso o mo MPP fa na the right time aba se na Akufo-Addo ikoi whatever they would do enkwa asante di hono so omoye wow kokofa buku na kan media da meka mo pa mo koyi mra obeye biara na nkwa asante fo ho eno mo hwehwe ma no so okay sankwa asante fo ho a ebe ho ne de ko ene sadia yempia tani from the north yempia na so no gia a continuation of yaban after so wanya satamwa obewie ni 4 years na bia nyame bo no akọ 8 years no na MPP agugu na asante fo ni nyina ye mre obi antimi sori biom na yen achemfo no yasa giade wow this is the game plan edaho antimi titi nyina minim say Bawumia ebe we ne wan we ne kura nkom be ye da yi enti no wo planning ni nyinara say ne be ya the power no be ba wo nsem was in the most unlikely event that Nana Akufo-Addo finishes it 8 years and goes. There should be a way the power should remain with them. The financial sector, the energy sector. One bobo sector is one monopolizing some.
Enti even crown se Bawumia crown wenia. Still now in your opposition bia Nana do benya interest wo ho say finance de farmer way.
Oh na Bawumia no hwan aya adodankwa ne puppet. Adodankwa na se he minia bone ne menu ne di yo sika ne nyina ne wi ayo. So say ya hwe ye ne kodi kan say me trust kan. Ana yi chiramantin dia alandie masa already me ne no ye yi enti wo ana obetimi akata etuo masa wonim se bone ne ye di ne toto Ghana 40 ayewu enti no kwankro bia me fa so se pian ana obaye established candidate and we must start promising MPs no minister when I'm the and advice running mate no nipa okowe no kwaka say mama running mate ma obi antio no okowe o ka say oh mama running mate ma obi antio and wonam no nim so obenya running mate na we nso nam no say nipa 10 and we promise so obenya running mate and obi are committed and sika no mutua ma delegates no who say bitua ka ho yeah onu tua 4 na we tua 3 na we tua 2 across board because oni bonkum nimni nifa ensaka. This is the game planner Nana Akufo-Addo aye anya sa minia Nana Akufo-Addo ankasa no kasa 77 presidents because so nyini ntinu na me nso ya na me di bi acha no because say ye nyina ye nyini ko but obia won a limit say Nana timi ko gina ho by nanum e ka say de masi problems no ma hu Ghana for mo bre mani ahu nanso se sia de ma pem ya me ye bia me ntimi den nanso ye bompaye ense sabi ba na sanse sane ba the next president no beba no onu abeba be solve mo problems na mamo next president no say the next government Boamah when next government onye MPP no ni Akufo-Addo na ye the reason why Akufo-Addo went for Boamah no let us not forget it because awukaya a Japan ba ku ne friends Kwabena Japan ba all because wo Boamah da be no by 2008 wo ba ya no ye nyina se empel but Nana Akufo-Addo say wo and wo pe and because we say na ye nia bre ya power ntino ya peni say onfa enye running mate enye sa wo da be no ba qualify unqualify and Nana Akufo-Addo so be catch say the reason why ntia me pe Boamah no because Ghana ma who say problem ayawo economics economy na tete enti no Boamah and economic answer ni nyina e she ni trim no correct so okay ya Boamah ni o munya Boamah di already to the extent say Samira Boamah ire me ba because ya wo no manim manim Samira oh yes me ba ni odi ma chi train na fa edi ni sha chiri enti ndi anya de den ana me nka oni me ni ma me ni me ni papa ni me because my contact now omufie enti mi kosu nyana mti omufie mani so ne wo Samira enti ndi anya tem didie e just a fact okay ba me ne me pan me kbasam ka se o ya kwada enti o kasa onfa enunsi nanim as against some years second lady because in some okokastia John Dramani Mahama no aye on call for akwada ya tetew on kasa ana minim Alhaji Ramadan ba Abu Ramadan Adamu Ramadan omunya no enti minim wo mo pa anya sa na Alhaji di tete wo mo enti no eni se enkoko that ditch ekoka se incompetent John Dramani we achire opeso oye niye but aye late enti based on what Boamah did Akufo-Addo said look I have something for you me pa chawo me hwewe
Boamah ni o Boamah no Boamah ni o Boamah no Boamah ni o Boamah no Nyakopo ndi wiase adwen nyina ahyebu wa share your paper to show that 41 promises made by the MPP and his presidential candidates within 2 years, 41 have already been fulfilled and delivered as we speak now. 41, paper the new.
Anti straight. Nana Akufo-Addo aje papai aye ni nyame. Aye. Papa ni aye ni nyame. Ocho paper man kro mi obi. Ocho paper mi mu ahwe ho ko bie. Aye. Achire no hu ne na masa say who promises 681 within 4 years. Now by 2 years time, why you move 41 now? Mark your way. 41 no Rams ka Rams are car fast speed Rams. I don't know when you need speed Rams toilet assemblyman eh JDM ka say na assemblyman be toilet pay na be assemblyman their job. Why you go fit go put toilet where you go put them for paper say I do toilet? How? When did you me winning? Mumfancha me. Why did you mean I come to any now can toilet as I'm not saying the toilet in here, but it is a ferry. What were you winning? That's the amount. Economy nini, brabe ye. Nasa who buy an economy inflation 15%, 15.4. Now what media got through 54.4.
Yeah.
What the 40% inflation abeka ho. Buy na dollar no, then rule 4 cities. Yen you Nigeria to me say am 4, na 4.2, 4.02.
Okay.
It's completely different from 4.2.
Yeah.
Masa, no ba obey hu dede. Kiri. Ansana Muba Baba 2017. The international community kind. Say, look, Ajuma D was a Ghana team sorry to Mpono. John Dramani Mama Yen in 2015, 2016. And any government that wins, the IMF, the World Bank, the international financing donors, everybody said it. So Obio Betimia win in 2016. Abaye easy. You will grow at a minimum of 7%. If you push, you will get double-digit growth. Because Dumso ya solve Sanya makanki tinketi netuya problems on ya yeni nyina ya establish sika ya dibe tuya sa ya di contractors edo amuka esla ya yeni nyina into any government that comes in 2016 election 2017 ebenya into ubedru ye na 2017 where ya timia grow by 7.5 I would say ayame was a baumia manka baumia na ya ade no problem 2018 afa ye ko yanim ye ko grow ye ba negative afa ye hu ye ho ano masa afa deficit amoba ya yen any kura mi any deficit anyway GDP to debt to GDP ratio Mr. John Dramani Mama onyade 56% and this say 100 na ye the 50 cents ne bekwa kotuaka ne de acheche ye de nka ne mboni ayeye nyina ne ye tua workers ka ye wo 44 ye de yempuntujuma mu ba ye no makukuru eko 104% entino agesi akopa bosia awa baabi ne de abeka wo atua workers ka statutory payments get fund intimi ntua anasika kakra do na pa to was a hwe enne said da dwene so chine bia na yanyu se wo petrol ne ye wo gold ne ye wo we na eyade a esa enya de obeka se wo ho afi bo nti yewu ne ye manum bra ne ye manum ba wo mbeba benya ebesa ena wo mu ka hu bia wo mu dia nti yanwini wo mu ho na ye mfa bi nsi ho ne na se ochina epesia ye nya bi anum ye mara be nya bi. This is what John did and we just stability stabilization
sinking fund
infrastructural fund near the bet mpuntujuma papa Jessica 600 million 200 million 300 million we jani nyina wom say we and was establishing sa levy editor energy esla yeah koi now we fighting and 2 more wells. Me, I was a chairman for Mines and Energy. Every day, near 70,000 barrels. Wow. And now, you're free war, John and Casadaroma. Let me tell you one story. I'm rather John, NDC, fighting with Cote d'Ivoire for the 2 wells, you know. MP before the catch say, let back forward. Yanko negotiate, na yenche, omunye bi, and yensu yenye bi. I didn't say your mutia. Wow, master, yeah, go and check. And John said, Debbie, Adia Yanni and in Sabonkum energy. Yanko, the law of the sea. Yanko, ye, no GDA, Semetimi. And wonya kukudam for, and yet daminum, yet daminum.
Confederate what, I mean?
Damin, no more. Onya kukudam. I want to say, to me, come and bribe or any political colorization or until no Ukraine did. And brew, your friend saying, Marietta, num. Etna si chikata no bo bodin si share and the man this be pienu na yenya 2 extra wells and the MPP to 200,000 barrels a day.
Wow.
From 70,000 to 200,000. John ni years otna ho nyina onya 230 billion na do ye adwuma. MPP for us at last week anya 837 billion. Bisa said there Boamah Utiwo as the head of the economic management team. Some preduasa. Utiwo ya disa a pure water, ex pure water way. Abesiwa pampem. Ukomubu siwa pampem say. Way ex mineral water. Ya de si Boamah pampem. Ni komubu antimi amanfo Dominica. Eno mbeso no mu no mse transit. Ya di nipa 40 kura ba kreti. Na wo mu hwe ne ntia dollar no bruce di ni sa. Wantimi ana wakwafa ankure. Wei baako 600 in egum. Oba dey be sin abonto. Ansa no be maso no kura no da form kura. Amman na so wo 19. What does Boamah know to be able to govern a country like Ghana? Idea for no, but you should tell me. And you know there are two things. As it is said, we bomb to send your man for Kano. And you are call digitization. I honor chassis. Na say honor crown wati. Because they don't the count. Because they are not buy. I want to offer him my. That be masa. Or buy. Also say wama Ghana card. What the call hospital. Oh master, I read the papa whip. Now you have about me and Ghana card. Wait him there con 180. Or can crama no bro the number of countries I what the way. Yeah, no catch say. Well, no, what the Ghana card back to now money interchange 1,000 obey Ghana card. He knew what he was saying. Ebiano no, some person come in the Ghana card no. No created the importance for the Ghana card. Send the Ghanaians by Jatum said that should be the sole document for registration. No money chronoable. They sit down and they plan and they want to execute it. Masa, baby ayadunu, Boamah, adentina, everybody akwara krana when him about Boamah. How can the vice president become so unpopular? Say baby within synonymous with lies. And it's difficult to establish why. Na Boamah promises. Master, under Boamah as the head of the economic management team. Me, na me person me compare Boamah to John. Because Boamah is the president. Yeah. And why do you waste our time? Na me person me compare time with John ye vice. To time Boamah vice. John ye the head of the economic management team. And Boamah. In 2011, John was the head of the economic management team. We grew by 14.1%. We never had this. Yamokasi in Tiobika. We didn't have any haircut. Yama pensioners, ama mesalasi in Tiomoka. We didn't borrow because another bank will get. MPP were borrowing for Ghana, not because they say Nyeska. Omu borrow no omu DB. Na kenoforiata ne bank na onu no ababeye emunu ojina muno no onu anya ne chefa no dey akoto ne bankim. That was the reason. Who started say wo bobusia ye warning international community John Dramani Mahama yes obi a onko dan no osiminim. Ye nyina ko wada ayesa prakodo okaka cha ne maami prakoba za maami na no onu atententen. Na no maami so question will be sabano train me reference and about mami 2 years na baby sami 2 years no so ya no na no atenten ase ne maami and maami ne born say no say na won kai question no be sabano was maami manya answer dada oh ebi no entinu say we compare John time inflation single digit 33 months o make say eboa to the point o make okay say inflation here we have one inflation here. I want to because I quite here. Yes, yeah, quite. Musi hospital, Musi school, near Betty no. Ye possess cabeto bottom, and then I go forward. Ye possess cabeto ye bottom. Yet is castle. That's what come here. And then the only scanning enough. If you point one when you be at Rasso. Na o Boamah see what so. Let's say what bomb. Wouldn't him to be a brand and I go forward. And now Trimuna ding. So person and I go forward to fail. Engineer Unimuno, which had also been cancerano. Me, I know my policy. Oh, fairly, I go for a bonny. Now, me cram me and anka or me cranka, my pamano. Oh, Necessiano. Dear Boamah, can it say, or sabotage a cofado? I have my own vision. I have my own vision. Yeah. I go forward then and walk on a vision and now you're bonny and cocoa vision. One when you all call, Namina Mikancano. Mekata no koni ya beda mi benyaba. Wa mbani ane oni trim. Famisi. Wa mbani oni. Antino minia se woka se wo dey compare. Enya dey compare e man yeye. Okay. Unemployment rate wo yenye time 8.4. mu ye mu ye dede ene 14%. 14%. Sa haircut 100 billion Ghana cedis yentuaka, involving 1.3 million human beings, pensioners, woman prepare, woman seek 100 billion. Up to now, about entuaka. Untia when you to interest rate. Interest rate. Anu akopebusia kakra, no akopebusia kakra. 25% NDC time. John Dramani Mahama time 2016. What dear time adentra and then base rate. You can say base rate Bank of Ghana rate or the borrow commercial banks 30%. And they say commercial banks ni borrow at 40%. Chelami adwuma be no be ye. Obakwa babusia na wutia 40% interest. And at this time now on top form simply because what said I kum banks ni nyina. Baby me who say hey Baumia was san masa Baumia samono edoso because your my religion says a religion card na obo wo ko on so ha kura de kankai
religion me round there
anya kura religion ya nan kam fi so de besie because ne kan de to pon akikai ade ba ko a Islam yem pa tie kura ani se be ka so obi wi prako ya abinsi anu de haram the biggest
me say me chiripa
nyam na me kan ye wo kan ye Japan ase mo ko embassy mo ko meeting e de no e ba ko umpe we ba queen umpe no house uti no nanum afa duru prakwa wom ana ka to say hey mama prakwa no wi o was manu a ne omo ba ka chem no mfa wa me ne me pa no mfa ma master say ya no kura say we si ya na wo ba ba de no be from say onya kramo entis media me ntra say mbu obi ate so ye kramo ni o so onya kramo ni o ye nyina obi ewu obekọ na dekam. But money for religion, so the bar be politics.
Okay.
Because what the bar, you betcha. So starting one and yet because under religion there, on what we cremoni, also when you're Christian. Says why then Timothy.
So conwa G communion pardon and the
communion. Oh, there be communion, see engine now, sir. Oh, there was such a to see any we a bow and num near the shame. Near the near the answer to Tiso. Ade ba ku a Islam yempa kura and so de bi obi ebe tutu nyame hu and the friend kalimat shahadat. The first principle of Islam is that God is only one and that all the others are prophet, and the holy prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, was his prophet who came to tell the world and he was the last prophet.
But when Baba can and say yes, you are Jankwan Wakon.
And I may can a honor a better say Baumia Muslim. And come of one be commented. And to me, I may see one very tracted. And also very tracted. What the problem about Christians? John Dramani Mahama was me a Christian. Me papa a Muslim.
Yeah.
But Yanya John, because even though he's a Christian, Obianu about push the agenda of Islam to send your John Ayano.
No correct.
Men canine. Asa, my bobo anu. Yenyi asina. Ya mani dia doso. Me kan say about me ahwe na bibias. Enti no. Ya hwe ne akoso why.
Yo. Ya kwaba ne yesa ba beto akomo so the 2024 election and matters are rising because we have a lot of things e was say kasa e de efa ho. Alaji Sorogo e na yene no ehia no. Yeah, ba be here Ira John Dramani Mahama man building Ghana together no. Na ya ba be share some of the issues aba no. Na omo adie no wada roma ntentem no emamu delay me yen running fast na yen corner allergy nyamre ne yemfa eni nkomo wo de esisie no emu enti mo a modie no ene mo a manwene no ye ba no ya ba bedi nkomo e de afa ho wo so wunya twa ya obetumi aba be wura mu bi na wa ba be twa star 274 hash star 274 hash you are selected number 1 power S riser star 274 hash you are selected number 1 so the first person you want winning I don't know 0244 774 0244 774 that is the first person
okay yes me number
okay the first person want winning no obi adi 0244 774 okay almost the second person any the second person any and also I win 1,000 Ghana. What can run in the first one that I know I'm also what can run the first one that so this is the second person. Mr. Ramo, the third person and the fourth person no. Mr. Ramo Muncheme. Not many alleged me you be running the last one no near the associate. But the second we are you bet to me and no edding como eddy a fam. Yeah, so also ye di and como eddy a fam. Inti also bet to me again. Dial star 274 hash. Star 274 hash. Now select number 1. Power SYZ. Power SYZ. Sikan one you go so a year channel. Yet no. Now so about bedren no about GB because and now I want to by Sikan wedding.
Me pacho star 274 hash. No I choose why no. Me pacho wo 20. Menye mom. We are bomber with chances of winning here 1. Yeah, 50, no ajay, no 50, no ajay, no 50, no ajay, 54, no. With chances, no, I have 4 over the number. I know, Munya, now over winning na friends or go. Near Munya,
so go
strategy, papa, no.
Bowram, Nabaji Sikano for the day. Eguso, Sikano, Eguso, Yete, but Yeberino, Yet the Diacano, Edibetoso, Ediamamo. I like the you're a John Dramani Mama.
I'm a patch of tea, but before then, Mamma can't back one here because a very big problem. I want people about in 2016. Yeah, John Dramani Mama, the budget no 1 Bank of Ghana and cassette, 1 cedi for 0 for mommy. 0. Even though by the law, no bet me I pay up to 5%. 1 co. But Nana Kofuado. 2022, 2021, 2022. What was come 77 billion. Yeah. 77 billion no near law no man concern no just about 9 and so much is 77. I'm on one casa de pay so what is can be a chabai 43 was 43 billion. Was me a chabai. Mensaka. Hey. Mensaka. Oheneba Mensaka. Hey, the war boy in the bed, and let's say Mensaka. Assembly, the band of Mensaka. Mensaka, or here for Casa Free from Tetman for no we knew, Papa. Tetman for no we pa. Which are saying, Minia, which are saying 45 cities. Which are 45. Which are about Kubako 9 and now which are Bomu. And I made 1,000 cities. Oh, yeah, they are yes. Me purpose to cry for pumping cocoa to me. Oh. And I've been Madame Mensaka. Oh, Yamisha. Yamika, where that's what it. Yamika, touch my. Oh, that day. Alleged. Massa. So, for economy, nay, B minus. Yeah. Now with the bad junk, say, bola, you do go to bola, so be ambeso betudi. And that's what la clinic. Aye. Almost say, IMF no. Aye. Almost sponsors no say. And yeah, no one say just joining. It is because they are reduce to bola. Now, better than the music, I didn't tell you about me. Maybe the music about who you do call bola, bra, we are junk, and so much smoothness level. You can say nyansa, you can say book economy, and yet just book to send you at Misa. I mean, funny BBC. I miss Ata. I will catch about me and say 170 questions. The office say book now quite now. Ya de babe a economy. And now a month for business when you must 7 pen answer. Won't me what you no more quack of about so much challenge will be to say John Dramani Mahama. What another Boamah Dabreho about president at any country no nene masa pamano twa no ni nyina ne say acho ajabo when abedu yahun is smoothness level. Now let's go to nipa papa and wotimi hu ni say adwene ani nipa ba akopeti so okay now you share this economy 24 24/7 economy 24/7 economy a straightforward thing. Uko baby adwuma wo no obi anu a oye adwuma more than 8 hours but we run it 24 hours 3 shifts so what be adwuma be factories here adwuma 3 shifts because why your adwuma ni export oriented wo pese enema bi wo ho a your advantage production advantage and to why your industries no ma be ekọ ye we rani osori anopa wapon 10 o'clock 10 no obi aje anopa 6 wapon na 6 obi aba 2 no wapon that round all round no na mo ye adwuma and the way ya wash shano no ye nyinara eno bi ni start no won say tin use wo so no kroma je atum say ye ya ne say beboa in an economy like Ghana I am a bunu aba be doso adwuma ni ho even school them create 24 hours school them if the facilities are there na teachers no wo ho why as you 24 hours
because your corporates time ya omode esua de obi so betumi de akọ classes
master that is it the unya plan na ba normal o plan ya baba ba part of the country's normal working ntino wadwin we no nyina ho no say the bitter look we need to revive some of these industries yentimi ntrase na da bia adwuma kakra bi wa mama kokai osafo mafo okọ create adwuma man ma omko share one we catch am say adwuma ni ho na central government the adwuma na ma satam no what the man ko share dada entino time wa ye wono time na etia but all what I can say ni say so we share the kind of some manifesto near Baba lunch yeah prepare aba ubehu what is meant by practicality adia was here because master first and foremost no I was say to me kukurukuru no si ho baby I call form no I was say to me stop that form no come na ya ba level ye free wa health education ni ya me dem pon say Jones look anya Ghana for sika ni e bread ye adwuma no me be nkoye de na akofo ye sagala me hwene oye no ho me ba adwuma ni nyinara anana to afrase no won wi a me wi ni nyina se de ba ba for so ma Ghana for enne omu dimirika say e blocks no mo kwakoye hospitals are John Jam mo kwakoye unhu ni omo say omo ye confused people enne this time na oba be asante hin otumfo tuwofo wantie ana aduru ho na me akofo de ma hunu say wono ne de ne sa me mfa ho 8 years na me pe menya krono pa entity me aminim saba o me onya ade minim but let me warn him president and warn the electoral commissioner because woman dwene nyina no say mo ya ba chechire mo nsa na chechire mo nsa wi a na de koguma chi a hey after all kokoto a ade a yenim unanimous ho but enye court enye judges nyina woman so te Ghana omo kodom
de akoso ebu
woman nkrankwada they are all suffering constitution no anu na amakwa maniama bibre because starting na ye no na military I pass here free war and we did very well but having tested it for 30 years you must say niama bibre president no the powers in do so do and choose way Johnson look even though me a president me Boamah Bennie say there be niama bibre the first in a champion the review of the constitution my predecessor John Evans atami started here nana ko for Dubai no about to twene because we dey call court wo mo shada no ma obedi wo mo call court na court say munya botre we do review that is the power for you o say me ba o say review o say Gracia award no I think say I do baby I was here hwe and you say you don't need money there must be other ways how betimi dey anya sika but say wakọ ni aka say wunti wakọ ye adwuma 4 years ye ma o say how biti wo ye nya keto dia hospitals and more thing also the ministers on choose more than 60 ministers wakato 124 verses 60 64 ministers show mo katua show mo cars wo mo bungalows wo mo boyfriends wo mo so amode laptops be keka ho wo mo so ni nyina entino se wo hwe factories wo mo ye bibi to say asichire why should we be importing sugar wabra esi ha
bia ka say be dia
masa hwedia no say na me wo trade and industry $20 million ewo ho a yadima outgrowers so bo fa nu ahwedia no mumisa na akofo do say scan away masa ensam no edoso entino mi fi zanka na de wonya ni 8 years na was bye bye muso mumra after all mayebi na wo sa begina ho wo bo woni na sotro wo su a wasa so na no wo mani nsu o mani nsa so a wacheche ni nsa gu na chi na de na besi enti masa eno de emwa John ye nyinara bebo ano Osis a tikrom kwejina nyansani ba kutrim TUC working class omune kura the country yankwane no omunkobo yentie no omunye oni KDC behia all the other sectors obia onu behia obia mfana dwenimra nyenhwe se ne beya yenyina mom the country the Ghana we all want.
Thank you.
Entiano medicine no mame ncha electricity phobia me call mo adenta ena wie na me meter se hadwen omo receive me ye pa young men na me ko omo ye adwuma omo ni abre na de won nyina ehurihuri party no on sa me card bia na me flag de ebom sa omo hurihuri na bi soro go wini say
but allergy ade bia me hu ne say no asa odo ho bata ndc a na wonam kra na wo feel so secure.
Oh mother,
because me nam krom ha me call me ya guest bi ewo me show Sugumbe about boy no bema
okay
eti yewie no na me se me kono makwakusi no ewo yes new legon ho side na me de man na kodo police fo me to mo
tell us the police fo asem police fo man ko kan yamfa na ko wodo amfa na ni bra ko gom so because masa police fo na say they know. You see, even Sikani no krana when you sika bibrebe no. When you asumdwe no adi sika no. Antino anya de mata kwatia deputy treasurer. And this munyere mo pa kwatia seat no.
Very good.
Munso Madina fo nyina filer. Madina fo nso so eboabo aniama. It was so nice under the former Zongo Caucus coordinator Yakubu Tale and the current coordinator and then ma kuku dam. Aja fatenum aja kwenum penifom pe omunyina boa no ade 2 trucks eko ma water region form it was very yachamu nyina abasariki ani ayifu nyina mo Madina nyina malams imanfo nyina mo humi ache okay but I'll come micha obia edamwase
but also papa mesle wo de aka no nipa mienu mama mfa ka ho na me sorry memre aso ebre no aso ano no etimunya no fast mama na omuhu se omunso anwene ena me very sorry say entumi ni nipa dom no eni nkomo na so eni eho ehia eti yanko papa me omo ma wene no na emre no aso
ya mugabe ma mu a ba ma mu no
kache mate eti dia wene de na so anene nam so no yanko edem wonsa kampa me kwa nam da so number no wai aha thank you pa wow 0243 one so anwene aka the last one ana menko aha ne kwanso no the last one and ono so ediso no the last one pa 0243 and 0243 for those pa 0243 850 ono so anwene nyankopo twedi ampo wonse obia na wonkam ho nyame ya adoma wochena mene mo ebesan ahia but metremu dia mamo games throughout this week no eti nyame ya adoma wochena yebehia na yedi nkomo e dia fade ekoso no eho me God Almighty bless you all makramu nyina enedai